Hello, my name is D Double, and I am your coach of the Edmonton Coilers in Season 4 of BBR. Before we get the video started, I'd like to give a huge thank you to D-Ray and Kurt as well for helping convince D-Ray to let me into this league. It's very much appreciated from the bottom of my heart. I'm very thankful to be back in such a wonderful, wonderful community. The coaches are awesome. Everybody's been super friendly, and I am super, super excited to be playing some Wi-Fi again. BBR is one of the better leagues here on YouTube for draft content and everything like that. So I'm, pardon me, very thankful to have this opportunity. Quite blessed. So before we get into the video, if you do want to follow along with me on this journey, feel free to click subscribe down below. Feel free to comment your favorite Pokemon that we have drafted today. I know I have a couple of my all-time favorites on this list. So, and then do apologize if I sound a little bit stuffed up and take a cut or so to cough or something like that. I am really struggling with something. Head cold, I think. But yeah, this is going to be a different video than what I normally do. Kind of more quiet because it is a little bit late here. But yeah, let's just get into it with our first pick in the BBR Season 4 draft. How it worked essentially, we had 2 draft pools. So I was in Scarlet, and then there was Violet. So it's 8 coaches per pool. So we kind of got our pick. I wasn't like super high on the list, but I also was in a position where I could really benefit from a good pick. So with my first pick, we took Palafin. Now, I was really excited to try this guy out. When we were going through the draft, we were talking about like bans and stuff like that, and we decided not to ban anything except the legendaries, which is awesome. So I get to I get to try out Palafin here, which is really exciting for me. Jet Punch, super useful. He's got amazing offensive stats, and he's kind of bulky too. So I'm really excited to get to use him. Lots of fun stuff that you can really run with him. There's some mixed sets. There's bulk up. Jet Punch is always useful. Yeah, I'm really excited to have the Dolphin on the team. He will be joining us on many battles this season. I don't see a bad matchup for him, and that's kind of the beauty of him, is he never really has a bad matchup, which will make my life a lot easier in adjusting to Gen 9. Speaking of adjusting to Gen 9, you will probably notice a theme for this draft. By the end of the video, if you can guess the theme outside of Palafin, I will pin your comment down below. So yeah, going on to our second pick. So came back around, we were looking at some stuff, and I had to get one of my tried and true favorites, and I had to grab Garchomp. This Pokemon can literally do no wrong. With the addition of spikes now, makes him a really reliable lead outside of Stealth Rock. He does lose Scale Shot, which does suck a little bit, but outside of that, it's still your Garchomp. You can Scarf him, you can run him Bulky, you can run him Swords Dance. I'm super, super excited to have this guy on my team. He's been an all-time favorite of mine since I started playing the Pokemon games. So very excited. Not a whole lot you can really say with Garchomp. I feel like we all kind of know what it does. If you don't know what it does, I plan on showing you all season long what this Pokemon is capable of. So with the third pick, went once again right back to my well of Pokemon that I have some comfort using. With the draft, it's kind of very repetitive in my sense, where I will always default back to something that I've probably used in the past as opposed to the future. So I grabbed Rotom, Oven, Toaster, Heat, whatever you'd like to call it. Wonderful Will-O-Wisper, good solid pivot. You can't really go wrong with him. Does lose Defog, which really sucks this generation. Same with Pain Split. But I knew I wanted to have a good pivot, a reliable kind of bulkier fire type, because you don't really use Rotom as a fire type normally. Like, you might bring him offensive once or twice in a season, if that, but can still set screens, still click volt switch. Foul play is an option as well. Um, Lots of good stuff that you could still do with the little toaster man. So, yeah, with our fourth pick, kind of cycled back around, had some thoughts. I hummed and hawed, and I've actually never used Scizor before. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to take a chance here. Going to pay some homage to one of the first draft creators I really started watching when I got into it initially in the GBA, and that's Lars L. Scizor, and the head coach of the Borussia Dawn fan. Decided to grab his mascot here with Scizor. Really reliable choice band Pokemon. Once again, does lose Roost this generation, but he still has Defog, which I think is really useful. It's really hard to find a Defogger that's not weak to rocks. He is neutral to it, but honestly, it's better than having to like pick up a flying type to be your defogger or anything like that. So bulky sets still work with him. He doesn't have the recovery, but you can still pivot around. Loses Bug Bite but gains a move called Lunge, which can reduce speed, which is also super nice because like my speed tiers on this team are not exactly the best. I'm not exactly fast. I'm not exactly slow. But yeah, so I grabbed Scizor. I'm pretty happy with the pick. The draft was moving along really smooth. I was humming and hawing. I'm like, I want to get like my last bit of a core here with my Fairy Dragon Steel. I know cores don't matter as much anymore, but I'm once again defaulting to stuff that I know and I'm comfortable with that I've used in the past. And I grabbed one of the more reliable fairies in the format because, man, there is nothing in this generation for fairy types on like Scarlet Violet like decks. Like, it is impossible because we are limited to just the Pokedex. So I grabbed Sylveon. Bulkier on the special side. You can run Fizz Def sets though. Great Wisp Passer. Gets Baton Pass. Hyper Voice still does everything it normally does, but it's just a little more toned back, especially with the Pixelate nerfs and everything like that. And then the one thing I am a little worried about with it is I don't have the option of running like Pixie Plate anymore because in Scarlet and Violet they did get rid of the fairy boosting items, so there's not really an item that I can use to just boost fairy attacks. I have to run something like Wise Glasses or Expert Belt or Life Orb or Choice Specs now, so a little bit disappointing with that, but that's okay. Still very happy with Sylveon at my 5 pick. I honestly didn't think it would make it this far to me. With pick 6, once again defaulting back to the tried and true kings of, seasons many generations ago. We get Amoonguss, and I was so happy to get Amoonguss. He just sits there. That's the best way you can describe him. He will just sit there. He'll sponge a hit, switch out. He'll spore something. He'll switch out. He can sludge bomb, switch out. Like, he just in, out. And that's really useful, especially when I have something like Palafin or Rotom Heat, Scizor. Like, having a proper pivot to kind of go into if I need to is very, very useful for me. Regenerator is one of the best abilities in the game, especially with how nerfed recovery is. So very happy with this pick. I can't say enough good things. So with pick 7, we grabbed T-Tar, and this was a snipe. I'm sorry, mid, but when we got to round 7, I was looking at the board and I realized that mid had Houndstone and he hadn't gotten T-Tar yet. And I was like, man, round 7 T-Tar is great value. We were limited by points, but I had more than enough to get T-Tar. I was like, man, I don't know why this didn't get taken sooner. Like, if you did want Sand, you probably should have taken it earlier. Mid did have somebody drafting for him, so it's not really Mid's fault. It's not really the person who was drafting for him's fault either. That I was one of like 3 people that could have taken it outside of Mid. and nobody expected me to. But I love Tyranitar. Something about him in this game just makes me super happy. He looks awesome. I love like the old kaiju stuff and just the Godzilla and everything like that. So I don't know what it was, but he just kind of spoke to me, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to take T-Tar. Sandstream, super useful. Still gets the Spidef boost with how prominent sun is in this generation, and hail now being snow. I really wanted weather control if I ever had to face it. Reliable rocker. Does get access to power gem now, so you can run full special sets, which is super nice. Or mix sets, things like that. So you're not completely locked into physical T-Tar. The special T-Tar looks a lot better now, being able to click not only Dark Pulse, but Power Gem, and then all of its other coverage moves. So really happy with this pickup. Super excited to use T-Tar all season. Like, I'm probably going to force him a couple of weeks just because I really like the Pokemon. So yeah, moving on to pick 8. This one, I really want a Gallade. I'm going to say that. I really, really want a Gallade. And I got sniped about 2 picks before, and I was asking around. I was like, man, I don't want to replace him. Everybody was like, dude, why would you want Gallade when you can get Medicham? And I was like, never really used it. One of the main reasons I wanted Gallade because it gets agility. Medicham doesn't. But then I was running Calcs. Medicham 2-hit KOs almost everything in this generation. Like with Pure Power, it almost has as much attack as Palafin. And once I saw that, I was like, you know what? I think Medicham's going to be okay. So another really solid physical breaker. Not the fastest, but he doesn't really need to be. Like, he's here to blow up a wall. Revenge something if it died to something slower. He gets Bullet Punch, Baton Pass if I'm like worried about getting stuck in anything, or I want to pivot a little bit more. It gives me access to that. Does get the new move Axe Kick, which is basically just worse high jump kick in my opinion. Does have a 30% chance to confuse, but at that point just run close combat. Like, you don't run the risk of taking recoil and everything like that. So just really excited to use Medicham. I think it's going to be very beneficial for me on this team this season. Never had it before, but it's one of those Pokemon I've seen used a lot, and I think I have a lot of confidence going into it this season after running as many calcs as I did, just to see kind of what I could blow up. So very happy with the pick. With pick 9, I went with my boy. I grabbed the best table known to man, the icy god himself, Avalugg. This, if I'm being completely honest with you, was more of a, I really like this Pokemon. I don't know why I like Avalugg. I couldn't tell you, honestly. Just something about him. He's just this big, dopey dude, and I really like him a lot. He's not a bad physical wall, for what it's worth. He does get body press this generation, which makes him kind of viable in some matchups, because its defense is sky high. Like, it will absolutely sponge a physical hit. Especially useless, though. Cannot take a special attack to save its life. If I bring it, it will probably be into like something bulky, like a physical water type that doesn't get fighting coverage, or like maybe something physical that doesn't get fighting or fire or any kind of special coverage, essentially. So I grabbed Avalugg because I felt like it, and I know a lot of people in the league really made fun of me for it, but that's okay because he's one of my favorites, and I honestly think sometimes you should just draft a Pokemon because it's your favorite. It also kind of matches up well in Hail, so another good little option in case I have to face snow this season or something like that. With pick 10 and our final pick of the draft, because I decided I wanted 10 Pokemon instead of 11, I grabbed Haunter. This was kind of a off the board pick for me because I really didn't know what to take. I didn't have a ghost type yet, and I had the poison type in Amoonguss, but I was like, well, I can't really revenge fairies super well with Amoonguss. Like, a couple of the other things, like Scizor and Medicham, can come in and click like Bullet Punch or something along those lines, or Steel Move, But on the special side, I didn't really have anything to break fairies or grass types or bulky ghosts on the other side of the field outside of like T-Tar. So I grabbed Hollinger. Gives me Levitate. So second Levitate user and another Earthquake immunity, which helps out T-Tar and Amoonguss greatly. And he's just cool. Like, I really like this Pokemon. I think he's fun. I think you can do a lot with him. And you can also even run like Eviolite, which I know a lot of people really won't agree with. But this thing's kind of bulkier with Will-O-Wisp access. It just doesn't have recovery, which makes it really, mediocre. But its move pool is good enough that it has coverage for basically everything that it would want to hit, and it would just switch out on anything else. So yeah, that's kind of the draft. I don't know how long this recording's been going. It's probably pretty quick, because I'm definitely more of a shower than a teller. I'm also sick, so I probably went through it a little bit quickly. But I think I got the points I wanted to across about everything on the team. I'm fairly confident in the roster. I think that there's a lot of stuff that people may be surprised by this season with me and this team. And I apologize for the in video editing, but I just wanted everybody to be able to see the hard work I put into putting these sprites on the slides and everything like that. Yeah, I'm really pumped for this season. Like, I honestly can't say it enough. I'm not going in looking to like dominate the league or anything like that. Like, I know my limits. I'm coming in pretty humble. Like, haven't played draft since Gen 7, and even in Gen 7 I wasn't like, the upper echelon. I'm pretty consistently a 500 player, but I'm excited because I think I have something a lot of coaches don't have, a lot of other coaches don't have, and that's I think I'm gonna have more fun because I've had such a nice break from Mons, and I'm coming back refreshed, and everything's new, and it is just really exciting. Like, I can't say it enough. Like, this is such a dopamine high for me. Like, I'm just really blessed to be in a situation where I can record videos again and make content, and I have a really great group of friends behind me supporting me throughout the process. And this league is just some of the nicest people I've met on the internet. So if you want to check them out, all of their links will be in the description down below. Please do, because everybody I've talked to so far has just been the kindest people ever. Like, I haven't used Photoshop before this, and I've had multiple people reach out willing to help me out with it. Lots of people helped me out with setting up recording process and Elgato and stuff like that, because I didn't have that in the past. I was mainly just a showdown guy. So I'm just super, super thankful. And I hope you guys will want to hang out on this journey. This is kind of a different video for me. I'm normally a lot more high energy, like having fun and stuff like that, but I am sick, so I am trying to not completely blow out my voice because I do work full time. So yeah, I've probably rambled on long enough, and you guys probably don't want to continue to listen to my scratchy voice against lo-fi music for much longer, so I'm going to wrap it up. Yeah, thank you so much for watching the video. Like I said, if you like it, leave a like down below. If you don't like it, leave a dislike. Comment your favorite Pokemon, and if you can tell the theme of the team after Palafin, I will pin your comment down below. I appreciate you all so very much. Yeah, take care, have a good night, and happy holidays. I hope you have a wonderful one with your family.